Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Non-Native Leader video podcast series where we explore stories of international leaders who work in various sectors: education, art, IT, fintech, politics, academia. And they all have one thing in common: they were not born in an English-speaking country. My name is Daniele, I'm the host, and I am really happy to have here with me Karuna Dwivedi, a colleague, we could say. Yeah, am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, but you're very welcome. Thanks for being here with me
Thank
today,
you.
Karuna.
Thank
Uh,
you. Pleasure is all mine to be here. Thanks for inviting.
nice. So we usually ask one simple question, which is not really simple, but like,
Yes, of course.
who are you? Where are you? And what do you do?
Yes. As you said, introduced me with my name. My name is Karuna Dwivedi. Originally, I'm from India, so namaste to all of you, to all of your viewers. But currently, I'm located in the USA, in Missouri State. I work as an English language specialist in high school setting in the USA. I'm also a doctoral candidate in English language and an author of my upcoming book named Grammar as a Bridge: Empowering ELLs Through Speaking and Writing, which is, under press with one of the international, traditional publishers.
Nice. So something
Yeah.
tells me that you like the English language, of course.
Yes, yes. I love teaching English language, which is in my blood. I can just tell you. I have variety or diverse experience teaching to two different countries. In India, I used to teach as I was an assistant professor there, and I was teaching English literature. And then I shifted my career towards teaching to language field, and so far it's going great. I'm loving
Nice,
it.
nice.
Yes, I'm
I'm
loving it.
glad.
Yes, yeah.
I'm glad you're liking it. Wow. So you're from India, you live in the US, and you're passionate about the English language. So you
Hmm.
are perfect candidate for the podcast.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Nice. Now, you mentioned moving to the US, right? And
Yes.
and then, that was, I suppose, part of your international experience because, using English already back in India, you started being international and then you moved there. So I guess you had two different set of challenges. So
Hmm.
let's
Hmm.
explore them. So the first one, teaching English in India, or being in the teaching world in India in a new language, and then moving to the US and having to adapt to a new reality. So let's explore those challenges.
Oh, yes, that is so real. Wow. From where I did to start. Okay. First of all, it's not a challenge, I can say, but it's more like you experience, it's two different countries, and it's just adapting two different big countries, especially your educational, ecosystem. In India, we teachers have one, staff room. It's just the one, room, just one room, and we teachers just gather together, around the table. And rather, students will have their own classrooms, like one designated classroom. And we teachers have to travel to classroom, to deliver lectures. Here is just opposite. We have our own offices, and students travel, they travel classroom to get the lectures. So it's kind of a very physical, structure. Is beyond that, the change in physical structure, I can also say the teaching technique.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
worked
interesting.
so well in India, according to me, but may not be so successful here, in an American classroom setting. So being as a teacher, I always say, what, if you're an educator, teacher, whatever, you just quote yourself, you should be always ready to, relearn, unlearn. So I
Yeah.
always do that. I relearn, I unlearn on the basis of where I can adapt, techniques where I can just, be successful in terms of managing your classroom management, or you can say the culture, that's the
Yeah.
basics. I can say that. But also, it's very fair to say having a multilingual, teacher in any educational setting is a blessing for them. I can tell you. Yeah, and I have a valid reason for that. You know what? Yes, because we are ready to blend with a new technique, teaching technique, and at the same time, we incorporate our, previous experience in our
Yes.
educational, you can say, or in our, instructional design. So that's kind of a win-win situation.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's fascinating, yeah, because so
Yes.
first you mentioned like one great concept, which is this never-ending learning journey that
Uh-huh.
as educators we are in. And the second part, like being ready to adapt, but also bring your own specifics. So in your case, like being multilingual and being in a way language learner together with language teacher. So that is a
Yeah.
great value add, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I suppose you experiment and you see it every day with your
I do.
students.
I do all the time. Trust me.
Yes, that's precious anyway. And that's
Yeah.
in a way, if it gets recognized, I think it gives, that extra it's an extra bonus for the students, but also for the teacher like you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, one of the good parts of, like, teaching to ELL students is like you get a chance to teach the diverse, community. I'm just teaching right now students whose first language of communication is Spanish, like, that's majority. But also I have Yoruba, Swahili, Somali, French, Chinese, Japanese. So it's so good.
An
Like, you
incredible
daily, you
mix.
have, yes, daily you just, you roll up your sleeves saying, okay, today I'm teaching you this. And students are like, oh my gosh, we are just, learning something new. And they also feel, I can say, so confident sometimes, especially in my classroom, because I'm teaching them English and they are teaching me their language. So they are also my teachers.
It's great.
So it's such a fun, it's such a fun.
And it's an amazing opportunity, I guess, to be
Amazing,
in
yes.
such a multicultural environment. It's so
Yes.
enriching, I believe.
Yes,
It's a
getting to know
privilege,
their
really.
culture. Yeah, getting to. There are one of the instances. We Indian. So by the way, I'm Indian. I'm I'm Hindu. So we just, put a sindoor over here because I'm married. Okay, so that's kind of a red stick off. You can just say that. Right now, you cannot just see, I guess. So uh, on the first, beginning, I still remember. Oh my God, I just I just love him. So one of the students, he just asked me, Katie, you have a blood over there. I'm like, no, that's not blood. I'm like, what it is then? This is something called syndrome. What is that? Because I'm married. Oh, okay. So your husband might also put that thing, something similar to this because he's married. But like, no, it's just for women, we only take it. Like, this is like such a fun to just exchange your culture. Like, why you do that? And then they also just, feel relaxed in that environment where they're ready to, put their cultural ideas on the table. Like, what, in my culture it happens like that, and from where, the
Yeah,
communication starts. So
it's lovely.
teaching English language is not just, I can say it's not generic. I can say you cannot just quote it. It's beyond that. It's beyond that.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, of course. And yeah, such a privilege, to be in a
Yeah.
multicultural environment and to be asked those questions about your personal culture and at the same time to ask them
Yes.
and to share.
Yeah.
Wow, that's invaluable, really. Now, I'll be interested in knowing on a more personal level, right?
Mhm.
Adapting to a new country, to a new environment. How has it been for you?
Absolutely, it's not been so easy peasy lemon squeezy
Uh-huh.
time because, yes, during my initial days, I often felt dismayed. and the feeling of anguish was going nowhere is just not so real. It's very real. You know, when you constantly evaluating your feeling, to be not misjudged, rather to be understood, it's very real. I can just share you one of the instances. I was in a meeting, and we were just confabulating with one of the topics. I don't really remember right now. But so I had to come up with the word mandatory, because we Indians follow British English, so we just pronounce like mandatory. And one of my colleagues, she seemed to be kind of confused, and so like, can you just repeat it once again? What did you say? Like, and then that feeling, did I say something wrong? Like, that feeling when you just pull yourself a little, like, oh, hold on, is there something wrong? And then I got to know, okay, in America it says mandatory. It's not mandatory, it's mandatory. Like, so there are certain things, where you adapt, to blend and with their culture. But it takes time. It takes time to learn. You understanding what I'm talking about? Yeah, those are some instances where just make me feel like, okay, it's
Yeah,
time
you
to live
start
it.
questioning yourself in a
Yes.
way. Say, okay, am I doing things right, or
Yes,
there more to
yes,
it? Yeah.
yes. If you just say, here, dustbin, they will not understand. Most of majority number of people in America, they will not understand what is dustbin. What is that? Like, can you just come? So it's a trash can, trash can. Or like, okay, do you have a trash can over here? Or it's over there. Like, so you have to. It's like not. It's not like I didn't speak English, but it's something to know about how they speak, and relate to their speaking is one of the, I guess, challenges. What
Yeah.
I Yeah.
And it is challenging because you want to blend in, but at the same time, you don't want to lose your identity. So
Yes.
how do you get yourself understood, and at the same time, how do you retain who you are? So that's one of the, I suppose, one of the
Yes.
challenges, yeah, when you
Yes.
when you
And also, it's so, because I'm telling you, because I'm a doctoral candidate in English language, I can just assure you, for the matter of fact, that is pronunciation and accent are two different things. It's
yes.
it's it's two different things. When you talk about pronunciation, that is meant to be pronounced, on certain way according to IPA system, International Phonetic Alphabet System. But when you talk about accent, it fluctuates. Like, it's so vulnerable. It just depends from where you are, and you should be proud of it, saying that,
Yeah,
I'm from
yeah.
that region. That's why I'm like that. You know what? And that's why I just tell this piece of information to all my students: don't work on an accent, just work on in pronunciation.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a great concept. But yeah, there's a lot of misunderstanding around this because like for example, a lot of people talk about accent reduction and these sort of things, but I believe that yeah, accent is like identity. So
Yes,
we all have an accent, and
yes.
regardless of
Everybody has an accent,
yeah,
trust me.
yeah, nothing to do with our passport, accent is there, and we should be
Yes,
proud of it. It's identity, it's
yes,
culture, it speaks
yes.
about us, it's part of our history, so
Hmm.
I truly believe
Yeah.
we should be proud of
Yes,
it.
but of course you should work on in pronunciation, because
Yep.
that is meant to be pronounced in that certain way. So on that way, see, mandatory and mandatory, because mandatory is American English, mandatory is your British English. So both are correct. You can,
Yeah,
in certain
I
way.
can see you're still not 100% convinced.
Yes, why not? Yes, but yeah, these are some, teeny tiny instances where, you constantly
Yeah.
feel yourself not to be misjudged, but rather to be understood. Yes.
Right. And yeah, so you mentioned like to be this feeling of being judged, this feeling of being misunderstood. So I suppose, yeah, as we have said, when you move abroad, you constantly have this like you're facing your reality. So you have this feeling. Was there like a moment where you had negative emotions? connected to this?
Negative emotions when you when you start questioning on your skills.
Mm,
Can I, it's very, very big then. Like, you have skills on your plate to be shown, and you just start questioning, am I enough for this? Do I have to do more? Is there something I can do to elevate or whatsoever, to be acknowledged? Like, these are some negative emotions. But I can say the moment when you realize that if you have skills, it speaks for you very loud and clear. You don't need an advocacy, you know what? For you, it speaks not today, not tomorrow, but someday. Trust me. Trust me. It's gonna speak for you that you have got skills.
yes. So you have to
Um,
believe in yourself in a
you have
way.
to believe in yourself, you know what? And you have to keep pushing towards working, like, working what you are doing, working to create an impact, working to make a change. You know what? Make a change in the sense that it's not like I'm sad or I'm not happy with the environment. Make a change, like, in terms of, to see the perspective,
Mm,
just keep doing, and and you can see a change. That's why as I said, not today, not tomorrow, but someday
yeah, you
you
have
can
to
see a
be
change.
patient. Yeah.
You have to be patient, Danielle. I can tell you, I'm from India. In Hindi is my first language, language of communication. But if you can just ask me, hey, Karuna, can you teach me Hindi? I cannot teach you. I cannot teach you. And I started to say, why? Because I'm not super trained how to teach
Yeah,
Hindi. Though Hindi is my first language of communication, I'm not trained how to teach you Hindi. Because I'm trained how to teach you English language.
exactly,
What,
exactly.
if I have a student who have a very minimal exposure, or maybe definite exposure, you cannot just, there is a scale, that, right? So it just varies, right? I'm trained from Cambridge University. I am trained how to start from the beginning to an end,
Yes.
where you should put pause, and where you just, as I said, in my book I mentioned, you teach grammar to connect, not to correct.
Yes. You should make it a slogan. Connect, not correct.
Connect, not correct, but
Yeah.
I would rather be a failure, or can say a failed teacher, if I just would ask to teach you Hindi, because I'm not trained.
Yes, you couldn't
And
possibly do it. Yeah.
yes, and there's a very big misconception, and I'm very respectfully disagree on this fact, very respectfully. So is that there are certain companies where there's, they just hiring ESL teachers, native speakers only.
Yeah, it's like a painful one because we see it day in,
Yes,
day out. And yeah,
yes.
there's a
So
native
you,
versus not native. I mean,
yes,
the
it's
name of the
just a
podcast
matter of,
is non-native.
yeah, not as, yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
matter of your skills. If you have a skill to teach, you can teach. No, or or on contrary, you can teach me Hindi if you're fully equipped with the techniques, like how you can
Sure.
start teaching. You can do that. Absolutely. There's no barrier.
Yeah,
Nothing. The more you learn, the more you want to learn. Is that as
absolutely.
simple as that, right? So these are some things, like, your skills, that's what I said. It just speaks very loud and clear.
Yeah. And yes, this is an interesting point. So at some stage you realize you have your skills and your patience and your skills are going to talk to
Yes.
to give you a reward. So was there a specific moment where like a turning point really when you realized, okay, things are changing for me now?
Oh my gosh, you're asking this question to a teacher, like,
Sorry,
if
I
you
am I'm
if you
asking the
start,
questions today.
yeah, yeah, yes, yes, no, 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 when you start your students, like, and you evaluate your, so you have your students daily, right, at least for a year, right? And when you start seeing them, you can say, engaging or educating for their peers, that is your reward. You don't need any trophy or any certificate saying like, hey, you have earned it. No, to me, my students are coming to my classroom having a very minimalistic expectation that today I'm going to learn something new. No matter what, it should be a vocabulary, it should be a grammar concept, it should be whatsoever. And that concept, I'm gonna use it to my other classroom settings, or maybe in outside of the classroom setting where they have to interact, like very real with a real person, with a real
Yes.
people. And when I see my students interacting very confidently, raising their voice, that is, I guess, my biggest reward. When I see my students in their eyes that they are so proud of me. Hey, Katie, you're from India, so that English is not your language. So they associate themselves, their journey with my journey, and they are
Yes.
so super proud of saying like, I'm so proud of you saying like, I'm your student, I have learned something very new today, and this is super impressive. You are my favorite teacher, you are my this that blah. So that gives you that courage where you can very well say like, I think I have done something.
That's great. It's really highly rewarding.
Yes, it's so
Yes.
highly rewarding, right? So I still remember when I started working on my academic book, my students, they just started like they knew, oh, Katie, you're writing a book. Oh my gosh, you are a celebrity. Can I have an autograph? I started feeling like, oh my gosh, they just already made me, celebrity. Like, can I have an autograph kind of a thing? So these are some, so valuable instances where you just keep it forever in your life to just cherish. It's just like,
Yeah, and that
sometimes
gives
you
you the
can't explain
energy,
it.
the energy to
It
carry
gives you
on,
motivation. Yeah,
to
it
keep
gives you
showing up.
motivation. Yes, it gives you motivation. It gives you courage to do something new. So I'm doing my doctoral. I'm in dissertation right now. Once I'm done, I'll do something maybe new. Maybe I'll do some impact. Like, who knows? Future
Absolutely,
is
yeah.
all yours, right?
The,
So it always gives you motivation. You should be motivated all the time.
yes, and you get to share the success with your students, with the
Yes,
learners, which is the main thing, I suppose.
which is the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And Karuna, one thing that I don't know that fascinates me is this concept of grammar as a bridge. I mean,
Okay.
we're all scared of grammar. When you go around, when you have to teach, you go, okay, like you go really sorry, we have to go through some grammar now.
I
I don't
got
want
you.
it to. So, like, you seem to have a smiley and optimistic approach to
Yes.
grammar. So I'm really curious about that. Can you give us like one or two ideas? What do you exactly mean?
Yeah. So if you're a teacher, for instance, man, hypothetically, I'm talking about if you're a teacher now, if you really start to teach grammar to your ELL students, first of all, never judge. Never judge. You know what? Every language has its own way, own grammar to make a complete sentence, right? So in my book, I have also mentioned about that. So if my Spanish student just wrote like in a sentence, like I have a, a car red, not red car, car red. Uh, so this is in their head, it's not wrong because in Spanish, it just the adjectives comes, after,
Yes.
but usually it comes before in our English language, right? So first of all, you have to put your baggage, throw it out, and you just go with a very clear intention. You're teaching grammar to connect, not to correct. I'm just repeating once again for you. You know what? Start teaching like it's a process. Oh my God, it's a big process. Like, you start teaching nouns, then types of nouns, then go to pronouns, then slowly you go to teach the how to write a sentence in English language, grammatically corrected.
Yeah.
And that's why I always advocate to teach grammar, because if you don't teach grammar to to learners, like how you should write, how you should expect them to write correctly. Like,
Exactly.
the first subject should come, and then the verb, and then preposition, object. whatsoever, right? That there's a way, and there's a way in each and every language, I bet. In your language, it's a way how to write correctly. In my language, I have my own way. So you have to teach them first.
Yes.
And having an intention not to, like, oh, you did this mistake. Like, just imagine you have, you have come to me to learn Hindi, like, like whatsoever, a foreign language. And I'm just on a very, post day. I'm just, oh, this is wrong with the, like, reading, like
Yeah, it's
everything.
off-putting, isn't
Just,
it?
it's, yes, just imagine your motivation. Where does it go?
Yes, exactly. It's not the right
Exactly right.
approach.
It's
You,
not the right approach.
yeah.
It's not the right approach.
So
It's
the
a big
concept of
no.
bridge is like, yeah, being non-judgmental and in a way
Absolutely.
meeting them halfway. So they have some ideas, which, I mean, you form your idea in your first language when you're born and when you grow up. So that's how your brain is shaped. And so
Yes.
by being non-judgmental, you embrace that, and at the same time you use it as a way to connect. Not
Hmm.
correct? Am I
Yes.
right?
Yes, you are absolutely right. Because there's the way, I can say, when you teach to kids, to children, or you teach to adults, like, the approach should be very different. As you can say, kids can adapt, of other languages very easily by just, like, watching TVs, cartoons, because it comes very um explicitively, right? But when you teach to adults, like, they are super conscious. They're
Yeah,
super conscious to being so, like, what if I'm just mispronouncing this word? What if I'm just grammatically saying incorrect? You know what? So you have to take that approach first to teach them grammar, Okay, this is the situation. This is like, in that case, you should use this tense. Why? Because of this. You should have all the justifications when you start teaching to your, learners. Why should I, like, my students always ask me why I should use this and why shouldn't I use that? I'm like, well, you can use anything. Nobody's gonna judge you. No, as a
that's
matter of
it.
fact, you are, you how you are, you should be, fluent and confident, like what you're saying. But it's very, very important to teach them, if you're talking in present, what verb you should use. If you're talking in past, how you should approach to the past tense or the future. These are some instances that you cannot just expect from them to be so proficient in language acquisition without
Of
teaching
course.
all these basics.
Yes, yes. I mean, I'm 100% with you. So that's
Yes.
the right approach, and that's the one that I think is the most effective when you're there with them. So and then you share the journey with them.
Yes,
So and
yes,
that's the right approach to grammar.
that's the
So
right approach.
I think we can say that grammar is not this evil monster we're all afraid of.
No, not at all, not at all, not at all. That's what I'm saying. And don't expect them to, always to speak first. They cannot do that. They
Yep,
cannot do that. They feel very intimidating when you ask them to speak. Rather, they feel confident and they feel, very safer place where you have to just ask them to write.
sure.
And how they can write. Just imagine if they know grammar, if they know how to create a sentence with the chunk, number of vocabularies, when you show them, okay, this means that, and they'll start, like, automatic.
That
Come on, ELLs are not IEPs. They are very, I can say, like, and that's the research says, when you have a multilingual student in your classroom and their brain, you know, behaves cognitively very intelligent. If you have some article, and if you have one native speaker student, and on the other side, if you have a multilingual student, they'll just read in English. They try to convert everything, translate everything in their native language to understand. So it's
of
so
course.
wow. It's such a wow thing.
Yeah.
Such a wow thing, and always I say, just embrace this and say that I am, a multilingual learner.
Exactly. Something to be
And
proud of.
say it very proudly. Do not say that I think I am an EL. No, say it proudly.
Yep. I agree.
And we have got extra.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's great. Something to be proud of. Absolutely.
Just proud of saying
And
that.
Karuna, we are towards the end of our chat, right? And I usually like to end with recommendations. So you have an international job, you live you work internationally. So any recommendations really for people who want to have an international
Yes.
experience like you?
Of course, I can just suggest them, and that's recommendation for them is to pack your bags with the hopes, with the high hopes and expectation to never give up, always ready to push in. And be resilient, and always ready to collaborate. Never afraid, never ever afraid to put your words, to put your ideas on our table, because you never know that your idea might be a capstone to other projects. You never know. Never be afraid of saying that. And last but not least, don't ever ask, am I? Rather say, why not I?
Very powerful. Very powerful, very inspiring. So
Yes.
I I just love it. So
Thank
that's
you.
that's great. Yeah, I mean it's optimistic at the same time, it's about energy, about finding this sort of drive, sort of push to if you really
Yes.
want something, then you're entitled to go there and grab it in a way.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Karuna, thank you very much indeed for being
Thank
here with me.
you.
I've really
Thank you
enjoyed our
so
chat.
much.
And
Thank you.
and everybody, thank you very much for sticking around, for listening or watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.